Koa Farmers, a guy who's played a lot of football for us already. This game obviously means a lot to him considering he grew up 10 minutes from the stadium, so he's a guy that his rep total will go up a little bit more. Cam Brown's a guy that played a big role early in the year that will factor in for us as well. And then wide receivers, we've played a lot of guys, and Saeed missed some games early in the year for another reason, and DeAndre Tompkins stepped up and played really well. So, you never want to be down players, but on the same hand, I think we've done a good job of developing talent and also developing confidence and depth. And then, guys need to step up. So, we'll do that. And, like I mentioned before, we love those guys. They're great kids, and they're going to have great careers and go on and do wonderful things. So, it is what it is.
You speak to your core values and the process of instilling those values into your team.
To be honest with you, I think it starts with our players, and we've been fortunate, especially this year. Guys that have been a part of the program for the last 3 years and kind of seen the evolution and have seen things that have worked and things that haven't. And, I think a lot of people that have been covering our program for a while understand this, but maybe for some of the people in the room that haven't, I think if I remember the statistic right, I was like the 5th head coach in like 27 months, at Penn State, if you count interim head coaches. So it's a lot of change in a short period of time, and really completely different philosophies. You got really 3 different coaches that approached it completely different. So a lot of changes for the community, a lot of changes, for the university, a lot of changes for our players. So, we had a process that we really believed in and really thought worked. You talked about our core values. It's something that I believe in and our players have, and really players that have been with us for a number of years. Number one is to have a positive attitude. I think that's something that's going to be important for you the rest of your life. It isn't really football specific, but people that can approach their job, their work, their school, their opportunity with a positive attitude. I think that's the type of people that people want to be around and are drawn to and are attracted to. Number 2 is to have great work ethic. You can't always control how big you are, how strong you are, and maybe how smart you are. But what you can do is you can control how hard you're going to work, and you outwork people and outprepare people. Number 3 is compete. I think that's probably the biggest challenge nowadays, because our society has shifted a little bit with that, where everybody gets a trophy, everybody gets a smiley face now, which is something that I completely cannot stand and detest. A lot of curves in class. To me, you compete in everything you do, and we instill that in our guys. It is a football specific trait, but obviously it's something that carries over to everything that they're going to do in life, the rest of their life. And then the last core value that we think is really important, that's probably the most important one and probably the most difficult thing to do, is sacrifice. Everybody says that they want success, but very few people are willing to sacrifice the things to have the type of success that they want. Are you able to give up small things now for big things later in life? And we talk about those things all the time. It's plastered all over our building, because in my short time on this earth, that's something that I believed has been really important, not just in football, but in general. If you can do those 4 things consistently, you got a chance to be successful in any endeavor that you go on. So I think it's been important for us. I know at my previous institution, I still have players that, they're guys that are coming to this game, guys that came to the Big Ten Championship game. I had probably 7 former players. I got 5 former players from Idaho State that are coming to the game that I recruited, that played for myself, and Larry Lewis, who's with us. So they're relationships that are going to go on for a long time, and I think sometimes maybe when you're doing it, the players don't really understand it and appreciate it, but year or 2 after, or 5 years after, or 10 years after, those messages really kind of start to hit home, and they kind of have more of a big picture perspective on what you were trying to accomplish and why. At the time, it's just kind of all going so fast. So I think it starts with the leadership in our locker room, and I'm fortunate to coach these guys, and I got a great staff that reinforces our messages, in smaller groups. One of the things I talk to the staff about, I've been fortunate to be, on staffs or coaching We're playing on a number of 10-win seasons. I think that's, they're special seasons. I've been a part of 11-win seasons. I've never been a part of a 12-win season. To me, that's a different threshold. You have 12-win seasons. There's only a handful of teams in the country that are going to do that. That's special. So I asked the entire organization in a team meeting, anybody that's been a part of a 12-win season, in college before, stand up, and it was only, I think 3 or 4 people that stood up. So that's something that's significant. Obviously playing in a Rose Bowl. I've been a part of BCS bowl games before. Had not been a part of a Rose Bowl. I think I mentioned this the other day. The closest I've ever gotten to a Rose Bowl is I took a GA job at Washington State and drove my 1988 Honda Accord with 160,000 miles on it, 37 hours by myself from Philadelphia to Pullman, Washington. And I showed up a month after the Rose Bowl when Ryan Leaf was working out for all the NFL scouts. That's as close as I had gotten to the Rose Bowl before this. So, this is a game that everybody you talk to talks about how special it is and how unique it is. The year that I took the Penn State job, I did the national championship. I did a lot of the media obligations before the game for the Florida State, I think it was Auburn national championship game. So I was in the stadium and on the sideline for that, and I thought it was a real special event, special evening. So, I think if you have a bucket list as a coach, this is one of the things that you want to do during your career, and obviously we're blessed to be here.
Thank you, Coach.